Is it possible to unleash your potential and amplify your impact while feeling good? On your journey of growth, connection, and achieving, it can feel like burnout is lurking around every corner. Today, we look at one foundational way you can get strategic with your self-care so you can nourish your soul while thriving in your life and work. Hi, welcome to the Connect with Sheila podcast. I'm an entrepreneur, self-care strategist, and creator of the Seasons Self-Care app. I'm committed to helping you reconnect to your purpose, elevate your well-being, and build your version of a happy, successful life. You're listening to a Monday minisode where I share an insight designed to help you live into what lights you up this week. Today, we're discussing a topic that often flies under the radar in the self-care conversation, and that is structures. We all love to soar in the sky of creativity, don't we? Like dancing with new ideas, playing with the possibilities. I personally find it so invigorating and exciting. It's really what being a visionary is. And I think all of us are visionary in our own life. But what about when it's time to land? To make that creativity tangible, to actually live out those dreams? That's where structure comes in. It's your runway to reality. I know when you think about structure, it might feel like a really rigid, confining word, but think about the structures that you most admire. The sleek lines of a skyscraper, the graceful arc of a bridge. These structures don't inhibit, they actually enable. They support the activities, the life, the flow that occurs within and around them. And that is what we're talking about today, the structures in your life that are a form of self-care. Okay, so think about it. I've said this so many times before. Self-care is not just about bubble baths and journaling, although those are such an important part of being able to feel good. It's also the routines, the habits, the systems that you put in place to support your well-being and your creativity. So imagine for a moment that your mind is a river. So think about your thoughts flowing like water. Without banks, the river would overflow. They'd flood and everything would become really chaotic. So structures are like the banks of that river. They give direction. They focus your flow, reduce the overwhelm, And when your thoughts are focused, creativity doesn't just trickle, it actually rushes forward. So let's get practical for a moment. Think about your calendar. It's not just a record of appointments. It's like a garden where you're planting seeds of your future self. By scheduling time for your foundational activities, you're not confining yourself. You're creating the environment for your creativity to bloom. And so this is what I have over the years floated between, right? The visionary kind of creativity and all of the ideas that constantly swirl around in my own head, and then the structures of putting them into practice. It's so easy to have so many ideas that sometimes don't have a chance to land because there's really no place for them to land. There's no time in your schedule for them to land, or there's just not the way of putting it into practice. And thinking about financial systems, for instance, right? Something that I've been really dialing in on in terms of having the structures put together in my own business and my own journey forward to not only just do the basic tracking and things like that, but to really be projecting. And that's what has been really powerful about this program that I've been in for the past, 6 or 7 months that has just closed its doors. And what I've found really powerful, it's very often when you look at financial tracking and planning, it looks at, more realistic things like this is what's coming in and this is what's going out. But when you have a structure around your vision, and you're projecting out like, this is what I want to achieve, and you have the calculations set and you have a spreadsheet showing you all these things. And I know this sounds really technical for a self-care episode, but stay with me. It really opens up possibilities for you to have more freedom to expand. And it actually gives you a wonderful container for those new profits to flow in that you're after, so that you can experience those things in your life you want to experience, because those things that you want to experience are connected to a dollar figure in the world that we live in, right? You want to live winters away somewhere like I do, maybe somewhere warm. Well, there is an investment to that. There is a financial plan attached to that. And so just think about it in that regard, like, in your own life, think about the vision that you have. What is the structure that's going to support when that comes in, right? Like, really get tangible about it. I invite you to do that. So here's what I invite you to do. Take a moment after listening to this podcast and ask yourself, what structures do I have in place? Do you have set times for work, play, and rest? That's the place to begin. Do you have a system for capturing your ideas so they don't float away? I have a notes section on my phone that's with me, and I often will voice note myself in Voxer as well if there's something that's got me on a walk and I just want to download it without forgetting. And what about your finances? What about those specific tasks every single week that happen, and looking at your month and blocking it out? When are you sitting with your money, and when are you looking at some kind of structure or spreadsheet to say, hey, here's where I am, here's where I want to be? Get it on the calendar. If you find yourself hesitating, it might be time to build some new structures and get the support that you need as well. And this really plays into my self-care strategy. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, what does your whole life look like? How are you caring for yourself in every facet to really help you move more powerfully towards your dreams, living the life in the style that you want to live it? So as you are doing this, observe how with each structure you put in place, your mind becomes less cluttered. Notice how your creativity and your energy doesn't just soar, it skyrockets, because you've given it the space and the framework to do so. I'm telling you, your structures are your self-care. They're like the steel beams in the skyscraper of your life. And the stronger that they are, the higher you can build and the more spectacular the view. So take care of yourself by taking care of your structures. Lay down those bricks of routine, draw up those blueprints of habits, and watch how your life begins to align with the flow of your true potential. These are some of the things that we focus on in the Seasons Collective. It is the place for you to step into the next phase of your life or business evolution in a community that is focused on self-care and that places a high value on growth, connection, and making a positive impact in the world without burning out. So to get more information, you can check it out in the show notes. I would love for you to be part of this community. We have some new things coming as we enter this beautiful part of the year. So remember, in the architecture of your life, you are both the architect and the dweller. Build wisely and live fully. Thank you so much for listening. If you got something valuable from this episode, tag me on social media, because I love to hear your messages and hear what's landing for you, and of course to share them. It really means the world to me that you listen. And of course, when you rate, review, or share, it helps spread the message of going for your version of a life of more in a way that feels good to those who need the encouragement. I appreciate you. Have a beautiful rest of your week. Big blessings.